Ads sell more than products. They sell values, they sell images, they sell concepts of love and sexuality, of success, and perhaps most important, of normalcy. To a great extent, they tell us who we are and who we should be.
Now, the crazy thing is that media companies believe that if you fall within a certain demographic category, then you are predictable in certain ways. That you have certain taste, that you like certain things. And so the bizarre result of this is that most of our popular culture is actually based on these presumptions about our demographics.
There's a place
Come on in.
where her dreams have room to grow.
It's time to sleep
The
now.
Rose Petal Cottage,
Try my muffin, it's really yummy.
a place of her very own where she can decorate,
This can go here. This goes here.
entertain her imagination,
Let's do laundry.
Now, I focus on advertising because I've always considered it to be a very powerful educational force. It's an over $250 billion a year industry, just in the United States. The average American is exposed to over 3,000 ads every single day and will spend 2 years of his or her life watching television commercials, just the commercials.
Most media get their revenues from advertising.
This is all about capitalism. The exploitation of women's bodies, sells products, magazines, etc.
This notion that these media companies are just giving us what the public wants. No, they're giving us what the media companies want, they're giving us what the advertisers want, and they're packaging it in such a way as to make it sound like it's our fault, and it's not.
Media creates consciousness, and if what gets put out there that creates our consciousness is determined by men, we're not going to make any progress.
Girls get the message from very early on that what's most important is how they look, that their value, their worth depends on that. And boys get the message that this is what's important about girls. We get it from advertising, we get it from films, we get it from television shows, video games, everywhere we look. So no matter what else a woman does, no matter what else her achievements, their value still depends on how they look.
How do I entertain a packed house? With my new Electrolux appliances. Now I can cook the roast for the dinner party and the mac and cheese for the sleepover. Simmer the chocolate sauce, toss Jack his toy, serve the gummy bears, then the apple juice at the perfect temperature, be the charming co-host, clean the stemware perfectly, and end the night looking for monsters under the bed.
We have to get to a point where we can discern difference, where we can celebrate and develop workplaces that actually leverage these differences, not that we expect confirmation and compilation of stereotypes that frankly are getting in the way of accurate assessments and advancement of talent.
We all grow up in a culture in which women's bodies are constantly turned into things, into objects. Here she's become the bottle of Michelob. In this ad, she becomes part of a video game. And this is everywhere, in all kinds of advertising. Women's bodies turned into things, into objects. Now, of course, this affects female self-esteem. It also does something even more insidious. It creates a climate in which there's widespread violence against women. I'm not at all saying that an ad like this directly causes violence. It's not that simple. But turning a human being into a thing is almost always the first step toward justifying violence against that person. We see this with racism, we see it with homophobia, we see it with terrorism. It's always the same process. The person is dehumanized and violence then becomes inevitable. And that step is already and constantly taken with women.
You can't be what you can't see. To see women leadership in reality and on the screen and television is huge for women, huge.
We're creating new leaders, and they're going to not look like how they always did, an older white male. They're going to look like a woman, and they're going to look like people of color, and that is the true reflection of this country and of this world.
The media can be an instrument of change. It can maintain the status quo and reflect the views of the society, or it can awaken people and change minds. It depends on who's piloting the plane.
All around me are familiar